All right, we are live and we're doing a idea dealer stream on Leigh Marie Braswell. She's a partner at Kleiner Perkins, previously investor at Founders Fund, and first PM and early eng at Scale AI. So let's look into it. Tell me about Leigh Marie Braswell. All right, let's see. Let's first see what Grok says, and then we'll dive into her posts, her tweets, and then maybe her Substack. All right. Recherche sur le web. Réflexion parmi les utilisateurs de X. Wow. Okay, we need to turn off. All right. Let's see. LinkedIn.com. Does LinkedIn give us anything? All right. LinkedIn. Kleiner Perkins, board observer, board director, board observer Neon. Work primarily in AI, crypto, companies, technical founders, principal, and founders fund. Involved announced investments: Neon, Persona, Arena, Atomic, Walls, Chronosphere, Codium. Okay, Codium became Windsurf, Forge, Grit, Llama.xyz, Paxos. I know Paxos. Tactic. Board observer, Persona, Scale AI product manager, software engineer, sub 10 employee, helping take scale from 0 to 1. Oh, okay, Google, APM. Okay. And all right. Leigh Marie Braswell is a prominent venture capitalist and tech professional, currently serving as a partner at Kleiner Perkins, a leading venture capital firm where she joined in 2023. Her investment focus centers on enterprise software infrastructure and AI, particularly partnering with founders building the next generation infrastructure and machine learning applications. Prior to Kleiner Perkins, she was a principal at Founders Fund, another high-profile VC, and before that, she played a key role as an early engineer and the first product manager at Scale AI. All right. At Scale AI, she built and led product development for 3D annotation tools used in ML lifecycles for autonomous vehicles, robotics, and AR/VR companies. Originally from Alabama, graduate from MIT, where she studied a rigorous curriculum including courses in AI, machine learning algorithms, linear algebra, probability, quantum mechanics, and econometrics, among others. This is from LinkedIn. Okay. Before MIT, she ran Phillips Exeter Academy, earning accolades like the Computer Science Upperclassman Award and the Negley Prize in American History. Academic achievements are extensive. She was a U.S. Presidential Scholar, one of the 121 nationally placed 10th in the Math Prize for Girls at MIT, participated in the USA Junior Math Olympiad, and achieved perfect scores of 800 on SAT 2 exams in chemistry, math 2, and physics, along with 5s on AP exams in calculus, BC, computer science, biology, and chemistry. She was a semi-finalist in the 6.148 web programming competition for creating an innovative lost and found app, and she was selected for the 10X list, an invite-only network of top women college engineers in 2016. First place in MIT's annual consulting competition presenting strategies for Square and Howard Pre-Collegiate Economics Challenge. Braswell was on the Substack newsletter focused on investing in related topics, which has attracted thousands of subscribers, active on social media, including X under LM Braswell, where she shares insights on tech, startups, AI, and personal interests like poker. She frequently hosts poker nights for engineers and founders and has over 18,000 followers. Hobbies include long-distance running and scuba diving. Spoken publicly on emerging tech trends, such as in 2025 YouTube panel on the future generative AI alongside other industry leaders. Few things unify the people of SM more than repeatedly posting photos of Golden Gate Bridge. Pavel. Okay, I don't think a single time in my life I thought, yeah, I really want to hear about this guy's B2B SaaS startup in the middle of this party, yet it keeps happening. We'll love to hear about your B2B SaaS startup in the middle of a party. Planning a tech meetup in NYC, honestly. Okay, guys, hear me out. What if we move Facebook events to Twitter? Oh no, Grok 4 picked up the wrong. I couldn't. Whoa, what is this? Oh no. Wait, what happened to Grok 4? This was bad. Leigh Mary. Okay. Thrilled to welcome Windsurfia founders. All right, let's look at this one quickly.
A lot of us did math competitions in the past. I think you made RSI at the time, which is like this famous like research program that MIT Harvard runs for juniors.
What do you mean made it?
Like they only select what 50 students?
They do, yeah. So they take like 50 high school students their junior year, and they bring them to MIT over the summer, and we do research. So I did math research.
Yeah, I didn't get into that. She did.
Okay.
Probably helps that I was from Alabama. They try to do some amount of student.
She's definitely trying to downplay this. I mean, she was the valedictorian of Phillips, right? So I mean, she's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'd known about her even before I went to MIT actually. But I did a lot of the same math competitions. Like maybe some folks were in the same circle. In fact, even Alex Lang. So a lot of people actually that work in Podium previously did math competitions as well. Like I knew them since high school, even since middle school. And our first employee, I went to high school with him. He was my roommate at MIT. He went to the physics camp with Alex Lang. I think they may have even been roommates in physics camp. So like the connections to just the same set of people. It's a very small crowd of people actually.
Congratulations to Mohan Solo and the entire Windsurf team. Windsurf has become mission critical for top engineering teams and opened up software creation to anyone with an idea. Yeah, I think this is the reason why I don't like people who pick up. Who was this? Who said this? Yeah, I think this was one of the podcasts I was listening to by Sean Puri, and I forgot it was an artist, and he had this idea that I don't like to. I was thinking about my stage name, and he said something like I was thinking about my stage name, and I wanted to just say the truth, so I'm like, okay, let me use my stage name as Truth, but then I'm like, wait, the truth is that this is my real name. So then he was like, instead of doing all these random stuff, or instead of picking a random name and creating this identity, let me just use my name and make that into this identity. So I think that's the thing. Like if you, like 10 years ago, if Vern Mohan, right? Yeah, Vern Mohan picked up this name, Mohan Solo, and now he's running a massive team. How does this work? Mohan Solo and this massive team. So it's always useful to just like pick your name and make it fluid. And humans keep changing. We keep changing our thoughts, our ideas. So you keep adapting based on that. All right. Can't wait to see where Varun, Douglas, and team accomplish next. Demis. Excited to be working with them to turbocharge our Gemini efforts on coding agents, tool use, and much more. Great to have you on board. All right. Mathematical reasoning is at the heart of intelligence. 12 to partner with Vlad and lead their Series B as they build mathematical superintelligence, verified AI for high stakes fields, from mission critical software to finance and science. So enjoyed our conversation, Joltma, especially drawing on the lessons from past technology cycles to the current AI super cycle. Thank you, Jack. Mamoon Hamid, partner at Kleiner Perkins, partner to father to four. Yes. New episode one capped. One of the greatest software investors of the last decade. We talked about past 25 years of tech innovation cycles where he sees biggest opportunities, how he reinvigorated Kleiner Perkins.
Four big technology waves. If you look at the list of companies,
I think this is very interesting, like looking at these most successful people and saying like, okay, give me your views on family.
Each one of those major waves across decades, we pretty much nailed every single dominant company in those waves. And so how could we make history again? All right. If you talk to Kevin Compton or Doug McKenzie or Joe Lacob, these are like the epic partners of the 90s. if there's one learning I've had in my career, or one thing I've used a lot, is small and high engagement is a really good signal to invest in income. And get early.
Say you're running, and while you picked that for KP.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we have an early stage fund today that's $800 million, and the strategy there is we invest in about 35 companies per fund. And in order to return 5x on that fund, we need to have that'd be $4 billion. That basket of companies has to be worth $40 billion, and that's only 10% of it.
Yep.
Okay, for the math to work for us. And the simple math, out of those 35 companies, you need to have 2 fund returners that get you pretty close to the 5x. So that's one part of the strategy. The other is we have a select fund, which is today it's $1.2 billion, and half the dollars typically go into our best companies like Figma, Rippling, and Leigh, and Harvey and others. And so where we double down, use it as a vehicle to double down into companies we're already on the boards of, we're already heavily involved, all the resources of client Perkins are being applied to it, and where we just see that this is just has greatness written all over it. And sometimes you can sort of preempt it and do it very easily with the founders, where it's easy for them, it's easy for us, and we want to give them more. We've done that.
Life is important to you, and like how that balances with your work, which obviously is of course very central to your life.
Yeah, the only thing that's more important to the work that I do is obviously my family. I have a wife and 4 beautiful children, and I was telling you earlier I got to go for Hajj this year. So the pilgrimage to Mecca that every Muslim's supposed to do once in their lifetime, and it was quite the spiritual journey for me, especially in a time when a lot of life hit us in our family actually. And so faith is really important to me, and it's also deeply rooted into every encounter that I have with every person. Part of the beauty of Hajj is that it is 2 million people who come from all walks of life, and they have all the different skin tones in the world, but yet in front of God we're all one and we're all the same. And it's just roots you into how do you treat each other as human beings, and it is sort of the compass that I have around every interaction matters, whether it be with a 6-year-old child or a 30-year-old billionaire founder, and how do you treat each other, how do you give them the respect, the dignity, and the attention in that moment in time. And so I sort of try to live my life, and I get to remind myself of that through faith every day, that there's a reason you're supposed to do things a certain way, and a decorum and etiquette and a way of life that just shows gratitude, but also shows up. And I think I try to bring the best version of me to every meeting. It's not possible, but it is part of like I think of it, put myself in the shoe of the founder. Typically, pitching to VCs is like a really it's like the biggest thing you could be doing in that moment in time, and it's intimidating. You're trying to raise capital, you're putting yourself out there, and if I can make them feel just a little bit more comfortable and more respected, and acknowledge the work that they're doing and all the blood, sweat, and tears that they're putting into this, and the found sacrifice they're making, and just like empathize with that, and have some humility around what they're trying to do, I think we can just make that experience a lot more just better for all of us.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, and really appreciate making time for this again. This was great.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey, give a handshake. Give a handshake. Give a little handshake. Okay. Ambitious global builders and engineers. Whoa. Spin in SF. Okay, I'm looking for Leigh Marie's ideas now. All right, let's see. Thank you, Line and Perkins, for investing in us, supporting us, and showcasing what we are building in Harvey. The legal profession. I think that's a perfect name. Harvey Specter. I found that the best technical founders, CEOs, can almost always explain very complex things very simply, or more specifically at most levels of abstraction. If you're doing a lot of work to understand, especially if you are also technical, usually not a great sign, and I think that is Leah. Pessimist, sound smart. Optimist, make money. For somebody who had so many people bet against him, Alexander Wong proved and will continue to prove them all wrong. The best founders and teams have ridiculous level of urgency, even more so recently, and they all think they're moving too slowly. There's palpable urgency in the air. If you are ever going to chase your life's work, the time to do it is now, because 5 years from now, the way the world works may look nothing like today. In a world of abundance, we treasure taste. Founder, writer, investor, doctor. Whoa. Every conversation I'm having with smart, motivated, often already successful people in their own right is at least somewhat reactive to this feeling. Time to quit something, start something, think long term, now, skip to the end game. Factor in the pace of the world in rapid evolution. Whoa, I wake up, stare at ceiling, and think this every day. Maybe urgency is always there and ironic. Zach. Maybe urgency is always there and ironically. Zach is funny. Zach is getting into the VC world, and I think that is a great what do we say, merger of two worlds that we are seeing running, and the VC startup world. All right. Whoa, where'd he go? All right. Maybe urgency is always there, and ironically, this recalibrating is exactly what humans do and should be doing all the time, just without the heightened adjustment anxiety. Or maybe we should all just embrace the spiritual now. There's a palpable urgency in the air that if you are ever going to chase your life's work, the time to do it is now, because 5 years from now, the way the world works may look nothing like today.
I say about scale.
Okay, this is actually great because this is a full podcast.
One thing I always say about scale, yeah, Alex and his ability to put himself in like the right rooms, know the right people, and be able to see like, okay, where's all the like revenue going to come from?
Is it Ariana Huffington?
From the next wave of like what's going on in machine learning, like human intelligence, and I'm biased, but and human intelligence and data will always be needed. And I have like full confidence because he's done it time and time again that Alex is always going to be able to figure out like where is that place where scale needs to like build a product to sort of like be able to bring the humans to the models. And so they, like you can't ask for a better first startup experience. Like every 6 months the company changed dramatically.
It's really cool to see how you can just see that her brain is like running. All right, I would recommend checking out the Scale AI careers page if you're interested. Happy to search more companies if you give me more specifics. HR, recruiting doesn't excite me much. Something in AI fintech, Paxos, Scale AI. Yes, check out Scale AI careers. Yash. Mean 2020 casually ignores a Scale AI investor DM convo. Me today just showing the screenshot to VCs hoping they fund my character development arc. What? I don't understand, but okay. Windsurf got away way smarter, okay? I'm hosting a poker night again. Top tier evening programming, Acquire FM must watch for anyone thinking about enterprise sales. The team is the thesis. How would you know invited to the right people at the poker party? Backpacks. So we're just going to ignore Rippling's advances in quantum payroll here. In Silicon Valley, almost nobody talks about quantum computing. In Washington, D.C., it comes up all the time. What to make to this? What to make of this? Huh. This is the way we always did it. Is the most dangerous operating attitude for all companies in a moment when literally everything is changing. I don't know what he changed, but he changed something. As a power user, way more features I would pay dollars for. Spotify, phone call, connect, pay per minute after ride is technically over to finish up work. Pay per minute. Okay, what happens now? Like you could literally not leave. What happens? What happens when you refuse to leave the car? All right. Fridge, drinks in the car. By the way, it's beautiful outside. It's getting really beautiful outside. Frequent reminder to myself, it's always tempting to get lost in the weeds of valuations macro, but simply there will be many 10 to 100 billion and likely $1 trillion companies that come out of this AI wave. Not investing means not partnering with history-making companies. Pankaj Kedia. Pankaj.ai. Okay. Paraphrasing, if you're not investing right now, you will miss the most impactful companies of tomorrow. Invesco, QQQ, Bloomberg. It's always tempting to get lost in the weeds of valuations macro, but simply there will be many 10 to 100 billion, 100 billion and likely $1 trillion companies that come out of this AI wave. Not investing means not partnering with history-making companies. Hot AI summer. LFG. The names Devin, Claude, Ava, and Piper are now inextricably linked with the past year in AI for me. What others? Starting now, we need to stop naming AI companies after people's names. The first couple were palatable, but now I see the trend. In 10 years, when everyone's having kids, people will ask, why did you name your kid after this AI company? Brett Taylor says ChatGPT will be enduring consumer brand of the AI era. It's a product that changed the way I live. He calls it the most impactful tech since Google.
In general, like when, like a couple years ago, someone asked me about how I thought the ad market would play out. I think I still have the same opinion, which I think will probably be And I think ChatGPT is that brand. I always try to use everything just 'cause I'm so curious about this, but for me, I just always go back to ChatGPT because it's just such an effective product. It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing. I love learning things with it. I love using it as a creative foil. It's a product that's so changed the way I live. It reminds me of Google in that respect. Like I just couldn't imagine the internet before it, and I used it 100 times a day. I still use Google, but like ChatGPT is like the most impactful technology product for me of like the past 2 decades easily.
Exclusive and brutal fundraising environment emerging manager face an uphill battle for Amanda Robson, known as Robbie. The answer was twofold: the power of community, relentless, high energy approach. She raised 22 million debut fund for a VC firm, MTF. Before the San Francisco-based investor, known to friends and family as Robbie, had touched down, she had shared detailed feedback on the local startup pitch deck and made suggestions on strategy tweaks, interest to advise on customers already out, and invite for its CEO to appear on the show. She co-hosts the Open Source Startup podcast, and if it's an interesting space and a really interesting founder, I am all in. By the time they have scheduled their first meeting with another bigger fund, I've already introduced them to 12 people. I met them twice at trading over the weekend. High energy approach is how she landed in VC from Canada without connections, made winning investments like a first check into Drata, the compliance software startup, most recently valued at $2 billion, and then made partner at Cowboy Ventures, the firm led by Leigh. It's a non-secret weapon and modern technical fund. The new venture firm she launched in April as a solo general partner. Branding is hyper direct, modern technical fund. Modern fund to invest in technical founders, and despite a brutal fundraising environment for emerging managers, closed MTF's first round at 22 million, just above the target she set out for her own raise. Okay. Amanda Robinson. Robbie MTF. Okay. Now close friend. And a network of potential buyers and sellers help impress founders like Founders like EJCX, Evan J, co-founder Run Reveal. Okay. Ian Livingstone, Keycard Labs, co-host and Propod. How this emerging manager broke through a brutal fundraising environment. Wait, where? Okay, this is next time. Alex Conrad. Upstart Media Co. New Tech Publication. Previously Forbes. Okay. My good friend Robbie to launch MTF. She's consistently impressed me with her technical acumen, her ability to build rare, valuable communities, and how she truly gets stuff done for her founders. My new subliminal messaging strategy with founders. Okay. Do what you love and you will never work a day in your life. Work super fucking hard all the time and take everything extremely personally. Cisco, HubSpot, Yamini. Whoa, Cloud Lover. Wait, is Yamini CEO of HubSpot? Wait, what? Why do I have a feeling that she's the wife of... Who is the wife of Dharmesh from HubSpot? Whoa, the wife of Dharmesh Shah is Kirsten Shah. Whoa, I thought it was Yamini. Okay. This is very interesting. X, and let's see if we can search. No, can't find it. All right. Anyways, let's go back. The story of Windsurf is wild. Founded 21, third pivot of the company, cannibalized millions of revenue to pivot to the Windsurf product. Within months of launching, they hit 50 million in ARR, reported $3 billion acquisition by OpenAI. Behind the scenes, the largest AI.
Crappy version of that idea is already amazing. Startups don't fail because they look like messes inside. Startups fail because they don't do the right thing well enough. It is much easier to run a company that has only one thing that matters than it is to run a company with the same amount of revenue with 5 things that matters.
What idea do you think that you are too in love with today?
I think if I was to go empirically,
Okay, this is very interesting. All the work that on YouTube the creators are doing with really fancy podcasts now. Now that kind of editing, that kind of retention, high retention editing has become normal. It has been normalized. I think we are seeing more and more of that over here with VC podcasts, and this will be more valuable. This makes more money. A good one, latex. If you'd like to be statistically happier at a high growing small startup, would love to hang and talk about ones I work with and others I think highly of. If you're frustrated, will consider joining a smaller company. Small company employees are doing the best. Enjoyment, commitment, burnout, engagement, belonging. Underrated interns, the valley runs on cracked interns. We need a summer intern hackathon with judges and prizes Silicon Valley's NFL combine. Intern dynamic is so good for the industry and individual careers. We stay cooking. Ryan, yes, Ryan is doing Vercel. Sold a startup, yes, yes. Every intern I manage has made me a better manager and engineer. Travis. Whoa, what is happening? People really don't understand how true this is. People doing it just for the love of the game. He's talking about us. I love my intern. Jess, CEO Blockus. Okay. But do you pay them? How is that even a question? Founding engineer paradigm AI pre-pen. Nicole Debut. Growing Kulshi. Family Biz. 100%. I'm an intern. You are the co-ops or where it's at. The crack intern just asked me what Git was. So many people who I know over here. Wow. Wow. It's good to see. Drop the .tech. It's cleaner. You'd be surprised how many high-profile founders spend and have basically always spent 50% of the time on hiring. It's competitive out there. 50% plus of the time on hiring. Definitely observe that the strongest founders spend a lot of time hiring, assembling your team with the very best people you can convince to join is one of the highest leverage activities you can invest in. Talent Whisperer founders, you should know. Curator. Occasional angel investor DMs open for great fiction recs. Brian just interviewed the first 300 employees, which not only leads to better hiring decisions, but also better retention. The current climate is interesting because companies will again need to compete on culture and benefits. Many well-funded post-PMF companies with upside. Midas, Brinklist. We're thankful for every day of the world, for the world-class founders, operators, investors who trust me with the partnership. Excited for what's to come onwards. Very well deserved. One of the smartest, kindest investors out there. Bridges deep technical expertise with investment acuity. Deep technical expertise. After receiving degrees in math and computer science at MIT, she was an early engineer at Scale AI, where she became the company's first product manager. Built and later led product development for computer vision annotation products. She began her investing career at Founders Fund and subsequently joined Kleiner Perkins in 2023. At Kleiner, she focused on partnering with the next generation of infrastructure and machine learning application founders. Pop-up pitch day. Simple lesson what ARR actually means. ARR, what is that? The total value predictable recurring revenue business expects to earn over 1 year period from a subscription-based service or contract signs. Contracts usually live example.
I don't take ARR at face value anymore. I gotta like get to that like nitty gritty of what actually you're talking about, because many times I've heard something that is not predictable, that is not recurring, be described as ARR, and that historically, traditionally ARR is predictable, it's recurring, it's like signed, contracts usually live, and so like it's fine to use these other metrics, but it's I think important to be intellectually honest as a founder and not call it ARR. No, that's a valid concern because we have been seeing, and we will probably continue to see stories like this. Companies like 11x. There are also previous companies like Frank that fudged their numbers or inaccurately accounted for revenue in, or who knows what ARR actually means these days. The more you get into bubble territory, the more you are subject to potential fraud, and scams and all of that. I was really curious to bring this up because when we are in an increased competition environment, that increases pressure on companies, and so some of this happens. From your perspective, how are you detecting this within the companies? You mentioned you're asking more questions, but like what in particular are you looking out for?
Interesting. Interesting. Legendary generation transformation, Windsurf AI, angel investment potential, $3 billion acquisition, hyper competitive AI landscape, AR fraud scams, cogent competition, key trends, scale AI journey, talent vortexes and investing seeds, trapped companies and growth, poker nights, networking. Looking okay. I'm interested in poker nights.
Just want to make. This is how I plug. You know, like I describe it and you say it, and then we're trying after.
This is not an advertisement, but Glean, if you want to advertise for Source,
I use Glean. I use Glean a lot. Yeah. They're incredible tool. Definitely, we do the same portfolio review, and it's like every quarter we go through all of our or most of our investments, and like Glean does this thing where it will summarize a lot of our board decks into like here's like key metrics and commentary, and it is a lifesaver. Yeah, especially for my partners that have a lot more boards than me. I could imagine doing that non-automated.
You gotta check it out. Check it out, by the way. How many boards are you on?
Let's see. I mean, I have one board director seat, and that is Windsurf. And then I have a few observer seats. I still observe Dion's board, which is an investment. I did Founders Fund, I did Private Series A. I'm an observer on Gnosis board. So they're a AI tool for salespeople. They do a lot of different things. They have a power dialer, which helps you cold call really efficiently. A training product where you can like train before the call. What are you gonna say? And then also a new prospecting product, which is really great. But I'm an observer on that board. I met Dan the founder when I was at Scale actually. It's another Scale Talent Vortex outcome. And then also observer on a stealth investment. So
Ooh, a stealth investment. I'm gonna guess no comment, but I'll take it.
no comment. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully something to announce soon. But that, and then I mean, I don't really see companies that only have boards, but yeah, I work with like three seat companies.
We have to talk about poker, okay? Leigh, can you please explain your poker situation? I heard the buy-in is like $1 million per hand. Is that right?
It's actually 10 million. We are playing for stacks. Yeah, no, it is not. It is very modest. I tend to keep it. I mean, the whole point of the poker nights, and they're very like small poker night. Like it's in my apartment in the marina. Like we have a round dinner table, and I put felt on top of it, make it look like a poker table. Yeah, I got it on Amazon. That's the goal. Without the fraud, but yeah. It's like usually like $200 buy-in, or maybe less. I want it to be like if there's startup founders even that are very early stage that like to play poker, I want them to be able to play poker, and I want also personally just I'd much rather keep it friendly than people really focused on just betting giant amounts of money. I think it's still like if you're playing with $100, you care about what the outcome is. That's the point of the money at all. Like I think if you play for no money, people don't care. So you gotta put a little bit of skin in the game to just encourage good gameplay. But ultimately, it's so that I get to know people, like strengthen my relationship with them. A lot of times, like founders, engineers, I've had people get hired from the poker nights. I've had people sell their software to other people at the poker nights.
Classic.
I've literally built my relationship with founders who I later invested in, effectively starting with a poker night, or maybe I met them once before, and then like we got to know each other through poker. So it's just like, and then at Scale, we hired so many people. That was our strategy. We bring people in the office to play poker, and then like they would get to know us and things like that. So a lot of the most important relationships in my life have been like formed through poker, and it's something that I love to like continue as a VC. And there's so many positive things I can say about it. But it's definitely it's not the meme where it's like I'm not like making investment decisions based on how people play poker, but I am like it's just a great opportunity to like get to know somebody.
Well, there might be some bias in there, some subconscious.
Yeah, if you're really bad or really good, maybe you're really good. Definitely positive.
So what kind of tips would you have for someone who's just starting a poker YouTube channel? Do you have your own YouTube channel?
Let's see. There's a few things that I recommend. There's this app called Poker Power, I think. Poker Power app. It's like for beginners, and like they do like courses and things like that. That I've tried before that I think is really great. And then there's was on the poker club at MIT, and the book that we would always reference is called The Grinder's Manual. It's like a PDF online, but in terms of like the theory of poker and really learning how to like the math behind a lot of it is great. But yeah, also just like playing and finding people that play at the stakes that you kind of feel comfortable with. I got very lucky. I didn't know how to play poker before college, but I was a Jane Street intern a few times, and instead of like going out in the town in New York, we would just stay in the office and we would play poker like after work every single day. We played only $20 buy-ins, thank goodness. So I learned how to play by just like I'd make terrible decisions, and then like my buddies would be like, hey, Leigh Marie, like do this instead of that, or think about this and that. So just like figuring out places where you can like go hard.
It's an amazing way to have your own community building while doing something that you love.
Totally.
And score some deals out of it too, because that's always important.
Of course.
Well, to wrap it up, we've covered a lot. We went through Windsurf as much as I could possibly get out of you, and I appreciate that. We talked about the succession planning of Kleiner and how you guys have retained your legendary track record, and a little bit more on yourself and your background, especially with Scale AI. I mean, it's really tremendous. To end it on a positive note, I'd love to know, what are you most looking forward to this year?
All right, looking forward to this year. I mean, I just think there's so much opportunity. in AI in particular, but also in a few other things too. But I'm just like very excited to continue to meet incredible founders and really partner with them closely and help build their businesses. But yeah, ultimately that's what we're looking for. And I just like never experienced, even back in 2021 when there was like a very high deal volume, like I've never experienced so many smart people like wanting to become founders, and like the sort of like why now and like the tailwinds being so like real. And I just think that there's so much opportunity right now to build a massive company. And so yeah, I'm really excited to continue to meet founders and continue making this.
Fantastic. Well, Leigh, it was a pleasure to have you on, and thank you so much for your time.
All right, Molly, thanks so much for having me.
Really cool, really cool. What a morph is. My husband ran a mile, did 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 200 squats, then ran another mile to honor those who served and gave their lives for freedom. Sustained greatness, even more impressive when you learn he still does all of his own stunts, which gets crazier each movie. Acing remote agents will happen. It's just a question of which task in the form factor. If I instruct an agent to complete a task remotely and need to review the final PR on GitHub hours later, I want to be more than 90% sure it's correct or user trust will be eroded. Looking forward to Sauna plus WSG with TPP, and later today, the current state of Twitter outages adds another exciting element. Collins. Unannounced KV Port Co. is a rapidly scaling application with an in-person team at NYC and looking for first BizOps generalist, at least someone technical with consulting or founding experience but flexible. Reach out if you'd like to learn more. Funny how people were writing hobbits for San Francisco less than 2 years ago. It plays such an important role in the story. Whoa, what is this? Launching the IO announcement with the same cafe location which is portrayed for HQ there over South Bay campuses. Johnny got it, Sam got it, they're cooking. The last 2 poker nights have been some of the most fun yet. One guest performed a magic show and another guest made some of the best cookies I've ever had. Please reach out if you're technical and at least passively looking for new startup roles. It's a good time. Wild time AI models have gone from destroying the AIME to destroying the USAMO in a matter of months. At this rate of competitive math superiority, VCs will start to invest in companies run fully by AI models any day now. Gary Tan and Pat. Jill Singer, for me personally, getting to know the growing community and other Christians and people exploring Christianity tech SF has been incredible. Come check it out. Holy shift. Holy shift. Fails AI and leadership. Me before VC INTJ. Me as a VC ENTJ. Anyone else? SF-based investors have an unfair advantage walking meeting locations. People who are not part of the Silicon Valley ecosystem don't appreciate the norms and rules by which it operates. The idea that a handshake deal is a deal, a term sheet is money in the bank, helping people around you with no expectation of anything in return, etc., are not the norm elsewhere. Willie. Athlete dad, strong opinions about sneakers. Every time a brilliant friend joins a Frontier AI lab, my AGI timeline becomes 1 week sooner. Yeah, she says friend because I think, as Varun said, that there's a really small, tiny circle of all MIT super smart mathematicians and just like engineers, and they all know each other. The aura here is off the charts. Wave 9. Easy to see why so many are inspired by the energy, ambition, and focus.
My name is I'm from Founding Team Windsurf, and I do a lot of Windsurf. The mission of Windsurf is very cool. Allow everybody to do here. Can we allow people to do things bigger, better, and faster than they ever did before? Really trying to capture that untapped potential that I think every single person has.
My name is Kevin Howe, and I lead product engineering at Windsurf. As an engineer, it's really exciting to come to work with fresh ideas, feeling like you can really make an impact for myself and for everyone on the team. We've all had that magical moment.
Oh, they got on one acquisition, Databricks. Okay. Oh wow. Incredible journey partnering with you. Not only are you truly Postgres expert, but you're also world class in building products users love. I'm excited for the huge things you'll accomplish with Databricks. With Databricks. Nikita Bays, scaling Postgres. Best progress for developers and wipe coders. The highest number of open PM and engineering roles in over 2.5 years. AI PM roles and AI related roles in general are exploding. Layoffs are slowing. Capital investment is increasing. The Bay Area continues to be the center of opportunity. Remote work opportunities are declining and are probably near a new baseline. There are lots of open PM roles around the world. Lots to be optimistic about. Gosh, how does Elon do it? What's the secret? Elon, yeah, work 18 hours per day, fire fast, and do whatever it takes regardless of what people think. Everyone's I will never know. How does Elon does it? What's the secret? Yeah, work 18 hours a day, fire fast, and do whatever it takes regardless of what people think. We will never know. I have to send this to my friend who loves Elon. Alright, the desk of someone who's logged in. Icelandic. Good morning, San Francisco. One of the best examples I can find out the fact that some of the objectively best people you should almost certainly hire, can be bad, inconsistent at interviews. Applied for a job at Facebook and Twitter, both rejected. He had two options. Facebook turned me down. It was a great opportunity to connect with some fantastic people. Looking forward to life's next adventure. Got it at Bedwetter HQ. That's okay. Would have been a long commute. From Chicago, studied math. Quant Pope. Who might give the advantage to the SOP area for a general tech culture of working hard. I just visited a Series B startup in NYC whose office was totally full at 6:30 p.m. Respect. As someone who worked in the NY tech scene, some reasons why commuting across the city is very easy. You know your way back home won't be taxing. So many things to do even after you finish work late. Restaurants, gyms, bars, shows, etc. always open. The energy keeps you going. You live in a shoebox apartment, so you would rather spend your time in a nice office. Principal, wow. Kleiner Perkins, previously product Google software. Palantir, Twitter, KP Fellow. School, Stanford. Wow. Aditya Naganath, principal Kleiner Perkins, previous product Google software. Palantir, Twitter, KP Fellows, School, Stanford, Columbia. You got everything. Okay. Everyone I look at MIT started something about eating glass and looking into the abyss as a founder resembles the experience we all went through together as undergrads. MIT culture is simple, low ego, collaborative, solve hard problems, and push the envelope. Michael Silver. Building, join, Kaizen. Let infra gather down databases, single store, infra, Meta, Siri, Apple, code directed, hack MIT, CS MIT. Something about eating glass looking into the abyss as a founder resembles the experience we all went through together as undergrads. MIT culture is simple, low ego, collaborative, solve hard problems, and push the envelope. Will tools like Windsurf result in fewer software engineers? It feels like it's people hating software engineers who say this. Feels like it's people hating software engineers who say this. In my podcast episode, we go into the engineering challenges of building an AI-powered IDE like Windsurf and how Windsurf has changed. AI-powered IDEs make engineers more fearless and could reduce mental load in jumping into unfamiliar parts of the code base when in the past they would have waited to talk to people more familiar with the code. Devs increasingly first turn to AI for help before picking someone else and thus interrupting that person. Mental fatigue is down thanks to the tedious tasks can be okay. That was increasingly first turn to AI for help before picking someone else and thus interrupting that person. Mental fatigue is down thanks to tedious tasks can be handed off to prompts or AI agents. Eliminating the need for skill and genius, it simply changes the nature of the work and can increase potential output. Forking versus code the right way means doing a lot of invisible work. VS Code Marketplace and lots of proprietary extensions. For example, when forking, VS Code the fork is not allowed to use extensions like Python language servers, remote SSH, and dev containers. The Windsurf team had to build custom extensions from scratch, which took a bunch of time, and users probably did not even notice a difference. However, Windsurf had not done this and had broken the license of these extensions. They could have found themselves in legal hot water. Could we see more non-developers create work software? Maybe. One of the very surprising stories was how Windsurf's partnership Leigh, a non-developer, created a quoting tool by prompting Windsurf. The tool replaced a bespoke stateless tool that the company paid for. And then, when this gel leaves, no one wants to take it over. Contrarian opinion, if I think we're going to text back and forth more than 5 times, a call is always better. Surprisingly easy to forget when investing the importance of the team, the idea, product, market. And pre-see the founder's vision idea is just a window into how they think. You can't take it literally and evaluate the specificities. This is all team. Mohan and Chen demurred when asked about the exofunction platform's inner workings, preferring to keep those details under wraps for now, but they explained that at a high level. Different AI workloads, even with limited hardware availability, ostensibly leading to better utilization rates with a lower cost. So wildly different from the first product. Okay, now let's go to the Substack and let's see if we can find KP leads Codium's CSP. Wow, how to make history. Or I'm getting tired of market maps and ready for some hotter takes. NVIDIA HQ, apparently GPUs aren't a bad business these days. This is a long one, yes. It's been well over a year since I published my overview of large language models, or LLMs. The magic of GitHub Copilot's beta in early 2022 made me the most excited I had been about a new technology since I got my first iPhone. Convinced that we are at the start of something big enough for me to write a large list of LLM application ideas and watch as many others publish their large list in subsequent months. There's nothing wrong with a great market map filled to the brim with potential startup ideas, but it inevitably leads to the question of where to focus. There are all these opportunities, but let's be real. What are the ones that a smart startup founder should go after, and which are flash in the pan waiting to be made irrelevant by a foundation model provider or a new architecture shift or an onslaught of other early stage startups? Over the past year, I've talked to many founders, operators, investors. I haven't encountered the full spectrum of opinions regarding where new LLM generative model related 10 billion plus companies will be built. On one side are those who believe there are many opportunities to build AI native companies similar to the generational building opportunities from the move to the cloud, with feelings best summarized by the street. It's just an OpenAI ChatGPT wrapper. It's just an AWS wrapper that would have made you miss a generation of cloud native companies. AI native is the new cloud native. Most of the value from adding or supporting this new generative tech. Our opinions as extreme as believing that all of the foundation model development and usage will become so commoditized that building chips or supplying power will be the only long-term advantages. Personally, as an investor, I'm in the middle. I don't think that every incumbent company will be disrupted. I'm in the middle. but I believe some are more likely to be disrupted than others. I believe some infrastructure categories offer a better risk return than others. As part of the LLM stack appear relatively more resilient. In this post, I want to expand on some ideas that I'm particularly excited about and others that I'm less certain of reaching venture scale as standalone businesses. I'll also mention some companies I know that are working on each idea, but this is not meant to be a complete list of companies or ideas. There are so many other exciting stealth companies for a potential future post. I would love to be convinced to change my mind and believe it's a sign of a great founder to be able to address risk, navigate the idea maze, and prove skeptics wrong. Developer tooling platform, augmenting knowledge workers, consulting. Okay. Digital asset generation for work or for fun. Personal assistant and coach. Eventually, you have the option for an LM-powered assistant or coach for the majority of things we do, both at work and in life. I personally love a future where wearing some sort of AI device is somewhat socially acceptable, and my device can listen to me talk with the founder, fact check the conversation in real time, give me advice on how I could be more helpful or convincing, automatically follow up for me after. In the meantime, tools to help with writing persuasive emails, navigating internal knowledge bases, or automating common tasks in the browser seem appropriate and ripe for expansion. Current LLM tech can also already. I'm curious what's behind this link. The AI note taker system with powerful business memory. All your meetings transformed. Okay. Current LLM tech can also already perform well enough to help learners in school and out with personalized educational solutions and conversations. Using large models to create compelling, seamless experiences on mobile is quite challenging given latency and compute requirements, which likely makes great products here harder to copy than meets the eye. Industry economics, competitive positions, scale economies, scale economy intensity, relative scale. Number of current customers, time constant, potential magnitude of branding effect, duration of brand investing. Channel and general consumer search. The chat experience that made ChatGPT explode in popularity, reaching 100 million user record time, should disrupt the traditional model of ads through bidding on each keywords. Whether it's due to a lack of desire of consumers to change ways, the inconvenience of incorrect information, and difficulties fact-checking LLMs, or something else, even the Bing AI-powered chat thesis hasn't played out in a significant way yet. In fact, Bing's market share is lower in 23 than 22. Moreover, given the importance of search to Google, as well as their ability to train LLMs internally, I would be skeptical that Google doesn't continue to adapt, as they have finally rolled out some generative model features in search. Counterpositioning argument and a better product experience. Wait, when was this written? Oh no, this is way back. Okay. Running large models locally, a lot of money as a result. Even Meta runs Llama internally by using the GGML version that save a lot of money as a result. Building and optimizing GGML versions of popular and consistently improving models, perhaps with longer term aspirations to build a full-fledged edge inference framework. New ML framework and or new chip. Privacy or quality-led middleware. Traveler. Thanks for reading. It's all this fun to theorize what the future holds, but I will conclude the post with the following saying from Henry Kissinger: Traveler, there are no roads. Roads are made by walking. Whoa, Henry Kissinger. Traveler, there are no roads. Roads are made by walking. Whoa. Give me top quotes by Henry Kissinger. Let's see. Statesman is known for his insights on foreign policy, power, and international relations. Some of his most notable quotes: power is the ultimate aphrodisiac, the allure of power in politics and diplomacy. The task of the leader is to get his people from where they are to where they have not been. Kissinger emphasizes the visionary role of leadership in navigating uncharted territory. America has no permanent friends or enemies, only interests. Encapsulates his realist approach to international relations. Each success only buys an admission ticket to more difficult problem. Relentless challenges faced by those shaping global affairs. Each success only buys an admission ticket to a more difficult problem. The absence of alternatives clears the mind marvelously. Various contexts, including years of upheaval, this underscores his pragmatic approach to diplomacy when options are limited. The absence of alternatives clears the mind marvelously. The study of history offers no manual of instruction that can be applied automatically. History teaches by analogy, shedding light on the likely consequences of comparable situations. On morality and policy. The nice thing about being a celebrity is that when you bore people, they think it's their fault. Interesting. Let me see. Can we do this where we go LM Braswell and then min faves 500? Is that how it works? No. No. Advanced search. Recherche avancée. Et yes. Chercher. Whoa. Hmm. 200? Min faves. Oh, that was right. Tous ces mots. Tous ces mots, c'est groupe des mots exacts, n'importe quel de ces mots. Mots, c'est hashtag de ce compte. Yeah, so I want this account. Yeah, from. Okay. And let's go. So this is the one we need to use. From account, min faves 500 from. Okay. My empirical take, Diet Coke is. I drink Diet Coke. I drink Diet Coke. Diet Coke is poison. You should never drink soda. I don't you drink Diet Coke. Remote doesn't stand a chance. SF needs a much better PR team. Today I'm closing the door on my time and found it's fun. It's been an incredible few years of learning, working with some of the most legendary investors, but it's unbelievable broader team and set of portfolio companies. Thanks to everyone that helped me grow. SF Marina, best place to walk ever. What if we moved Chick-fil-A to the Presidio? I couldn't give my boyfriend the full allocation he wanted in my seat round, so he floated the idea of us getting married instead. Once you realize you can cold message most people and nothing that bad will happen, worst case ignore or don't see, a whole world of possibilities open. When it yields unexpected results, always recommend framing the outreach with thoughtful and clear ask. Glad you took a chance on me. Investor M12 VC. Microsoft's venture fund. Definitely made a bit curve here, with the middle being you have to get warm intros. When I inevitably tweet this, I'll credit you. Shamelessly message anyone, why email, Twitter, DM, why anything. I've gone to the ends of the earth just to see what works, and turns out each person has different preferences. A hill I will dive on. Left fucking on the acquisition. Thank you. Feels good to have an official public exchange on. $1 million question right here. Glad you sent there that cold email. You realize the impact you had on my trajectory. It's actually crazy. Fixing a resume, teaching you to draft. Breathe down your neck until you sending them out. Okay. It's funny how easy it is becomes a superpower. Strange looking back at my college years. I realized that I didn't even know how that concept of cold emailing. This is my life. Just Lana Porco founder keeps a leaderboard of all investors and gives a person a point with each candidate, referral, customer intro, etc. Also found I am in the lead, but am now even more energized knowing there's a competition. Good way to gamify your cap table. Wow. I'm joining Kleiner Perkins as a partner to invest in the next generation of history-making founders, especially those working on infrastructure and ML applications. I have long admired KP's investing strategy and portfolio, and I'm thrilled to be part of the team. Product. This is, by the way, really cool. This is really cool. Leaderboard of all investors, and the fact that if you can also make that leaderboard public, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Now you're clearly letting the investors know that, hey, these are the guys who are contributing to the success of our team, and these are the ones who just gave us the money, and they just went to their vacation to Lake Como. My husband was so stressed during his fundraise. He lost 15 pounds. Maybe I should fundraise. Product exec at startup. In response to code gen tools, I told my PMs we are done with specs or PRDs. Specs or PRDs, prototypes only. Okay. And I want to quickly check out Kleiner Perkins' website. Handshake.
People jumpstart, or restart their career. And there's a totally new way of working right now that exists in the economy. What really happened is a lot of foundational mod companies.
They look like the Winklevoss twins.
Banging down our door. What they need.
PhDs could challenge models in math, music, education, and more than 200 fields of study, building the future workforce.
In order to push models forward is they need experts that know a lot about very unique domains. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, music, education. These experts, these PhDs, are using these tools to develop curriculum, using these tools in actual day-to-day research is a normal part of life in academia today. And almost every one of our PhD students, they're farther ahead than the model itself. They can break the model. What better way than to mix your area of passion and expertise, getting your PhD, with actually learning more about these frontier AI tools? And so I think that's what's really captivating our students and fellows to participate in this extra work.
AI startup. This kind of sounds very interesting. Robin Hood CEO's AI math startup valued at nearly 900 million. Kate Clark reporting at Bloomberg. Okay. Wait, did I read Ariana Huffington? Whoa. Former CEO Thrive Global on a mission to improve health outcomes and productivity. What? Thrive. Kleiner Perkins partner Thrive Global board member. Recently returned from Hajj, the annual Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca. While the world provides plenty of insistent, flashing, high-volume signals directing us to climb higher up the ladder, there are almost no worldly signals reminding us to stay connected to the essence of who we are, to take care of ourselves along the way, to reach out to others, to pause, to wonder, and to connect to the place from which everything is possible. Thank you, Mamoon, for reminding us there is more to life than our jobs, our ambitions, and our to-do list, and that in the end, life is shaped from the inside out. All right. Celebrating windsurf. Wow. Loom, putting video messages to work. Rippling, unifying employee data. Figma. Bro, you gotta change this. What is this? Bro, update the laptop. What is this laptop? Amazon. Glean. Okay. Google. Whoa. Viz.ai, applying AI to medical images. Handshake, moving the needle on equality. Coursera, okay. More. Internet trends, brand assets show. Internet trends. This is from 2018. What? About. To be the first call for founders who want to make history and to partner with them as company builders in pursuit of that goal. Serving humanity with tools at our disposal, people, technology, capital, and we work with founders who share this compass. Empathy, humility, winning as a mindset. Ambitious are our founders and know winning requires passion, grit, and dynamic and orthogonal thinking that comes from diverse expertise and experience. Intrepid founders. Today we just learned what intrepid means. What is intrepid? Intrepid meaning fearless. Intrepid means fearless. It's a French word, and I forgot. Build iconic companies that made history today. Klein Perkins continues our legacy, investing in founders with bold ideas that span industries and continents, partnering with them from inception to IPO and beyond to maximize the potential of their ideas and make history. One team, one dream, pride and excellence, operating in real time. Positive intent. Really cool. Okay, perfect. That's the stream. Thank you.